Alright guys, so if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that I do the ketogenic diet. You know that I am constantly preaching about the good aspects of paleo ancestral eating, and you know I do intermittent fasting. But you also know, if you've been paying attention, that I don't treat my diet like a religion. I don't say, you know, if you're a vegan out there and you're doing something completely different than I am, I'm not going to come up to you and say, you know what, you're doing this completely the wrong way. I think that there's a lot of misconceptions out there about plant-based eating. I think that there's a lot of ways to screw it up. But if you're doing a vegan diet the right way, it could be a really, really great diet for health and for performance. But I get a big kind of fit of anger whenever I hear anybody getting militant about their diets, and it sucks because I'm seeing more and more of these days. I'm seeing more and more people getting militant about their diets, and now it's been coming from another spectrum, another end of the spectrum. I can't talk today. Another end of the spectrum with the carnivore people. And what I find is when people tend to treat their diets like a religion, they tend to stretch the truth a little bit. Now, I've had Dr. Sean Baker on the Warrior Soul podcast before. I think he's a great guy. I like talking with him. I had a great conversation with him. I like the fact that he's testing things out and actually doing empirical tests and blood tests and doing this N equals 1. I forgot what the name of his experiment was. It's like N equals 1,000 or N equals 1 or something like that. But really, really awesome approach he's got there as far as the testing aspect of it. I do have my disagreements with him on his philosophy about the carnivore diet. I do think that a lot of what he's talking about has benefited a lot of people because it's gotten a lot of gluten out of people's diets. It's gotten a lot of sugar out of people's diets. It's gotten a lot of junk food out of people's diets. And if people are going to consume nothing but meat and water, you know, after they've been consuming junk food for all these years, obviously people are going to start to get results. But I get people coming to me saying, hey, if you're eating vegetables, that's going to aggravate your ulcerative colitis. You could make yourself sick from eating so many vegetables. And in fact, Dr. Baker said to me on the podcast, well, one reason why ulcerative colitis could exist is because the vegetable fiber you're eating could be irritating the interior lining of your intestinal tract. I got to say, that's a bit of a stretch of the truth. Is your salad trying to kill you? There's a famous video out there on YouTube about that, but it's a valid question, but one that I think the carnivore people are really stretching out. And so let's go into the truth of this. Plants, like any other living thing, have developed defense mechanisms to try to keep you from eating them. All right, and these range from low-level toxins to things inside of them that are going to give you a really, really upset stomach, to things that could ruin your digestive tract and, you know, make you sick. They've also developed poisons, full-on poisons that could kill you, right? Some of them have. So when we're thinking about the vegetables that we eat, the vegetables that we grow, the ones we put in our salads, the ones we consume raw, it is a valid concern to think that these things could be irritating the interior lining of your intestinal tract. But, and this is a big but, it's only if you don't know how to prepare them, right? So, how do you prepare your vegetables to minimize the irritation to the gut? Well, number one, you avoid vegetables that are fermentable, all right? So we're talking about things like garlic and we're talking about onions, all right? If you really, really want to get rid of a lot of bloat, get the garlic and the onions out of your diet. That's not saying that garlic is not healthy. It's extremely healthy for you. It's got a lot of awesome antimicrobial effects, and it's delicious. I'm Italian. I freaking love garlic. But if you're trying to avoid becoming farty and bloated, you get rid of the garlic and you get rid of the onions. Now, here's the other thing. With your kales, your leafy green vegetables, one thing you should definitely do is break them up into smaller pieces, right? Now, why would this be? Well, when you break them up into smaller pieces, this helps to release certain enzymes within the plant, and it helps to make it more digestible. All right. Now, that being said, eating kale raw has definitely still affected me in the past, right? So I try to avoid eating lots and lots of raw vegetables. So what do? I lightly steam my vegetables to make them more digestible, right? That will help me to avoid a lot of gut discomfort and a lot of intestinal issues related to my ulcerative colitis, or if you have IBS or something like that, that will definitely help you to avoid a lot of that stuff. Steaming your vegetables, lightly steaming them. I like to lightly steam my spinach, my leafy greens, and I like to put them in olive oil, and I like to sprinkle them with a little bit of lemon juice. Absolutely freaking delicious. Really, really good. So what else? What else should we be concerned with here? Well, when it comes to grains, right? And a lot of people who are trying to get fit, they try to eat a lot of brown rice and quinoa. All right. So what's the problem with these? Well, these contain what they call anti-nutrients, and these anti-nutrients can really inhibit your digestion. And I'm talking about things like phytic acid. Now, the phytates, they can be reduced greatly, and these grains can actually be made much more digestible if you soak them overnight and you sprout them. Right? This makes them way, way, way more digestible, right? And so if you're still looking to eat bread, you could eat sprouted wheat bread, right? Now, again, like I said before, there is some truth to what the carnivores are saying. Raw vegetables can definitely hurt your digestive system. But if you prepare them properly, you can get a really, really nutritious form of food that is going to get you lots and lots of micronutrients, and that's going to take care of your gut microbiome for the long run, right? That's one of my big issues with the carnivore diet, is that I think you'll feel really good for a couple of years, and probably at least for the first couple of years you're doing it. But afterwards, I think there's definitely some long-term health implications if we're not keeping our gut microbiome healthy by giving our gut bacteria fiber on which to feed from, and to help our gut bacteria take up more real estate inside of our intestinal tracts. So that's what I got for today. Again, nothing against the carnivores if you're trying it out. Nothing against Sean Baker. I just, like I said, let's find some freaking common ground here. If you're coming out and just saying that vegetables are completely unhealthy, that's stretching the freaking truth, guys. That's all I got to say. I got no problems with you, but it's a stretch of the truth. All right. So if you have any questions for me, put them in the comments below. If you got hate, put it in the comments below. If you want to learn more about the ketogenic diet, doing the ketogenic diet the right way, check out www.startketoright.com. Peace.